All right, hang on. I want the people to be able to hear this this guitar going on. Hang on, listen. See if it'll do it again. It's crazy background music, just like it's ridiculous. Okay, I'm done. It gets wilder, like the guitar solo starts going. It's just crazy. Hang on, let's see if it do it. Wow, 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 wow. Yeah, it just gets crazy. That's all this game does. No! All right. What's going on, Gaming Nation? We are back. It has been such a long time since we've had a sit-down conversation between us and the panelists. A lot has happened. I can sit here and talk about it all day, but I don't want to because, as always, we got to cover the latest and greatest in gaming news, and we're going to get right into it. We got the panelists here. We got my man, Daryl. How you been, brother?
Man, I've been good. It's been a minute, guys. Oh, happy to be here. Let's go.
Hey, man, happy to have you back. God, it's good to hear your voice. Spotty, what's going on, brother?
I'm standing on a rock, hurtling through space.
That's philosophical. It looks like they're...
No. It's factual because so are you because we're on the same rock.
You must got some great Wi-Fi. I mean, wow. I need that kind of Wi-Fi you got.
What rock you floating on? You know what? For the sake of not getting you arrested, I won't get into that. And of course, I'm Clay from Tales of the Blade, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get right into it. Cue the intro. All right, and of course, as we've been doing, we have been back recently with Gaming Nation before doing our conversational segments, and you've seen us back on Fandoms Anonymous, and in the format of Gaming News in a Minute. George R. Martin, the mind behind A Song of Ice and Fire and Game of Thrones, has partnered with From Software, though apparently only as a consultant, to create a semi-open world Norse mythology-themed game. While not much is known on the full details of the game, one thing can be certain: people will die. Star Ocean First Departure was announced by Square Enix and tries to be porting over to the PS4 and Nintendo Switch, originally released on the Super Famicom and never receiving a Western release until the PSP in the form of a Star Ocean First Departure. Star Ocean First Departure R is on its way to join the library of Star Ocean games on current-gen consoles. You think I said Star Ocean enough? Nope! And Neo 2 was given a closed alpha, and while not all of its details have been made available, what's currently known is the advances to the combat system, user interface, character creation system, and the aspect of playing a character that can channel yokai spirits for power rather than deity spirits as William did in Neo. Check links in the description below for some of these videos. So, the latest gaming news that we're going to be talking about today is actually some really exciting news in terms of something that we've been dealing with for a long time as gamers. You know, as gamers, we really want to see things adapted in cinema in some way, shape, or form, the same way, well, generally anybody who has any sort of love for any sort of media, be it comic books, MCU, we're not looking at the DCU, and of course, other books, Song of Ice and Fire, you know, Game of Thrones just ended recently. So that's been a thing, which got a lot of people mad, and a lot of people are finally coming around, right, Daryl?
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm not going to talk about it, but yes. Okay.
No spoilers. So,
Why
of course.
Did you do that, Clay? Why did you do that?
So, of course, gaming is also another thing that we really love to see, and it's been, you know, something we've dealt with for a long time is, you know, gaming and gaming movies has never been anything short of disaster. There's been several exceptions that came out okay, but it depends on how fondly you remember it. Like, we recall the first Mortal Kombat movie that came out during the 90s, and I mean, that was actually a really cool adaptation. We enjoyed it. The second one was terrible. And then the more you talk about it, the more you get into it. Recently, the Detective Pikachu movie came out, which was actually phenomenal. For those of you who have not seen it, I really personally enjoyed it. It's a great family film, very clean, and generally just a really good time. If you're a fan of Pokemon, if your kids are fans of Pokemon, if you love Pokemon, I suggest going to see it. But gaming movies in general have been terrible. Well, of course, the platform that we bump a lot on this show, on this channel, PlayStation, has come up with an answer to that. Sony Interactive's president, Sean Layden, recently said, and this is actually covered on last gaming news in a minute, but now we're covering it in a discussion topic, that they are going to release and create a new platform or a new production company called PlayStation Productions. For me, this is awesome. The fact that we're finally going to have, and this is actually from his own quote, the fact that we're going to actually have people working on these projects, these gaming movies, that know gaming and can actually reach out to the gaming community in that format. Daryl, talk just a minute. You know, what do you think about this, man? What are you looking forward to, or rather, what are you thinking is going to come of this particular thing?
Well, I think they're trying to do it like they're trying to make sure they focus on the games. Mm-hmm. And they want to get gamers involved. I mean, you kind of brought this up earlier, so I'm going to bring it up again. You know, it's like how the MCU works. Mm-hmm. The MCU works very good. They do a very good job with, their movies. And that's something we want. We want that in our games. We want somebody who to take their time, study the game, play the game, and give us that. Don't give us something totally different. Like something very, very horrible, like the Mario. That was horrible. I don't know what they had going on with the Mario movie. That had nothing to do with the game at all. And it was just horrible. So I believe they're trying to get gamers involved in making these movies for games, for people like us. And that's what we want to see. So I think they're onto something.
Awesome. Spotty, how about you, man?
Since PlayStation themselves are actually doing the creation of the film and the TV shows, I think we're actually going to get more true to form to the story of the video games. I mean, we had Final Fantasy: The Spirit Within, and I'll be honest, I did not enjoy it because it didn't really feel like Final Fantasy. But then you look at Final Fantasy Advent Children, and I'm like, oh my god, this is actually Final Fantasy. It's got the characters, it's got the plot, it's got the mechanics. This is Final Fantasy. So I think we're going to see more Advent Children coming out of PlayStation Productions instead of Spirits Within.
And I'm really glad you brought up Advent Children there. A little common known fact is actually Tetsuya Nomura, the guy who's currently doing the Final Fantasy VII remake and who did Kingdom Hearts and a bunch of other Sony projects right now. That's the reason why they're so swamped and why everything's getting released so slow. It's actually, again, in gaming news, Final Fantasy VII remake got pushed back again. Yeah, I know, bummer. But they also are no longer releasing it in 4 parts. They're releasing it in 2, which is actually kind of cool. But he's been the one.
I'd rather see them take their time and get it right than rush it and make a mistake like EA.
And Kingdom Hearts 3. Fully agreed. But I haven't done my review of that yet, but it's not going to be good. It's going to be very scathing. I did not enjoy that game as I should have. But no, Tetsuya Nomura is working on the Final Fantasy VII Remake, and of course he did Advent Children as well. So a lot of people who were huge fans of Advent Children are really psyched about the fact that he's doing the remake, and then he does have some negative critics, but you're going to have negative critics on everything. There are people who love George R.R. Martin's books, and there are people who don't, which... how can they not? It's amazing. But so that really is what's going on. We're going to see a lot more. Hopefully, this is all coming from Sean Layden, and when it comes to Sony, they don't exactly not deliver. We're going to see a lot more true to form game movies. In fact, right now they're working on I don't know if it's Netflix or not, but Twisted Metal series and a TV series, which is I thought was a fantastic idea, because you wouldn't want to create like some crazy car movie. You end up with Transformers, and then God knows how many movies are going to try to make of that. So I think a series would actually work out a lot better. But they're also doing an Uncharted movie, which is being directed by Dan Trachtenberg, the guy who did the Cloverfield movies. So if you like the Cloverfield movies, awesome. If not, we'll see what he has to offer, because that's not exactly a great track record if you're not a fan. But all in all, I have to ask this question. Daryl, what franchises are you looking forward, or maybe even like, because remember, they got to be Sony franchises. They got to actually be first-party franchises. Otherwise, Sony may or may not have the rights to them. But what franchise?
Clay, you know you don't gotta ask me. You know I'm gonna say first.
I gotta say it for the case of the listeners, so they know.
God of War.
There it is.
God of War. Oh my God, they gotta do it right. Oh please.
Talk about it,
right.
man. What would you like to?
God.
What would you like to see of it? Who would you like to see acting? Come on. Gush, just gab, just speculate.
Whew. Oh man, someone who play Kratos is hard because you gotta get that voice. I mean, you need that voice. You need that gritty, that deep. I mean, you need that voice that with pain.
Now,
you need.
Are we
that.
talking about God of War 4, PlayStation 4 God of War? Or are we talking about like God of War 1, 2, and 3 God of War?
Oh, that's a good question. Cause now I was thinking, the new God of War, but I don't know.
So you want boy?
Yeah. I think it would be better to do this generation God of War because the old generation. I mean, he was too ruthless. I mean, you try to put that in a movie or a TV show, it would be hard. I mean, that would have to be on like maybe a HBO, like a cable property.
Ooh,
I
yeah.
mean, because if you're gonna do it right, it would have to be something on like a cable property or something. Because I want to see all the blood, I want to see the gore, I want to see the nudity, I want to see it all. I want you to do it right. So I would say I don't think they'll be able to do it if they want to do it for like a Netflix type of thing. So they would have to do this series of God of War when he was more calm. So and then I think I would love to see some Red Dead Redemption.
Right?
However
Yeah.
they want to do it. Yeah, I don't think maybe Grand Theft Auto would be good. I don't think that would be good. But I would love to see Grand Theft Auto. Now we already got a Witcher coming up, so I just have to see how that's gonna be. But that's not a Sony property anyway. But definitely, I think it was almost Sony property. Oh, what is it? I can't think of the name right now. Oh, if I think of it, I'm gonna come back to you. But first, definitely God of War.
Absolutely.
I wasn't a big fan of the Uncharted series. Don't break my head. Okay?
No, you're good.
So I don't know. But okay, I thought of it. That's what it is. The Last of Us.
Yeah.
Oh, The Last of Us. Yeah, and I know what I want. I'm getting my words tied up because I'm getting excited. I want Gerard Butler to play Joel.
Oh,
That's what I want to play, Joel. I want Gerard Butler to play Joel.
Now the only thing I can say about that is because I've seen him try to do it, but even when he tried to play like a white collar American, you could still tell that he was really heavily having to hide his Scottish accent. Like he was still Gerard Butler underneath it all. Like, he was trying to be, it's going to be biblical. And you could still hear it. And you're like, come on, dude, mask it a little bit more. And so you're talking about Texas redneck Joel. And it's like, yeah, you gotta be down here. No, that's Australian. I don't know why I went Australian with that. That's weird. But
I know what you mean.
To be fair, a thick Southern redneck accent isn't that difficult to pull off if you get some coaching in.
just look at Andrew Lincoln of The Walking Dead. He's British.
Yeah.
So so there's that. But yeah, no, I think that would be a really good way to go about it for sure. What was you covered Rockstar, of course, Red Dead Redemption and Grand Theft Auto. While not Sony properties, that would be a cool TV series if you think about it, like in the terms of like Breaking Bad. You know what I mean?
Exactly, yeah. And I think I would like I said, and they could start from Arthur Morgan's story because Arthur Morgan, he had a great story. Wow. That game was just great. That would be a good, in that Western type feel, that can get even more older audience. People who not even into games. Like, my dad, he's not into, video games per se. He likes sports, but he's into Westerns.
Right.
And that can get him involved into it. There's just so much you can do with it.
No, that's very true. Give us 1 sec. Looks like we're getting some comments from a viewer. Maybe we're going to offer some outside opinion here. Give us 1 sec. Okay, that is written in a different language. I cannot read that.
Hey, hold on. Let me ask a question. So I wonder, could they do this? Because we're talking about Sony properties, right?
Yes.
Spider-Man is a Sony property. So could we get a Spider-Man show or something? Because Spider-Man is still on a Sony, right? Didn't they just, let Marvel, MCU borrow Spider-Man?
I don't know how the licensing would work for that. Obviously, because they're making games with the Spider-Man trademark and everything associated with that, it is very possible we could get a series out of that. I think they might try to keep it more close to the belt with gaming franchises, though, because Spider-Man is still technically a comic series that they just made a gaming adaptation of.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying?
If they do a Spider-Man TV show, they better make it as wacky and zany as the Japanese version.
You know, I could absolutely agree with that. Spotty Butt, how about you, man? What movies would you like to see? And of course, you know, like actors who would play them. Talk about that for a sec.
The media that I would like to see coming out of PlayStation Productions is anything to do with Metal Gear Solid. That is ripe for the picking for movies and TV series. It doesn't even have to focus on Solid Snake or Raiden. It can go into the bunkers and do the day-to-day slice of life for people in the bunkers. It can go into the common soldiery. You can make it like an NCIS type deal. There is so much potential with Metal Gear Solid with its tactical espionage, because I mean you can make it a cross between Mission Impossible and Black Hawk Down.
Oh, that's actually very true.
I think I would be really, really pissed off if they made a Metal Gear series or movie without Snake. I don't think I can watch it without Snake. I don't know. I just don't think I can do it, because even the games they had without Snake, I didn't like.
Yeah, talking about Phantom Pain and all that. I mean, technically they still had Snake, but it wasn't Solid. It was Snake, Naked Snake. So, yeah, no, wait, is that still a Sony property, or did that go multi-platform with Phantom Pain and all that?
I think it did go multi-platform with Phantom Pain, but
Konami sold out.
I think everything involving Snake was Sony.
Clay, real quick, did they go multi-platform? Can they still use that? Okay, thanks, man. Appreciate it. All right, who would you like to see play Snake if they did one?
That's a really difficult question, because I'm not having any like actors come right to mind. No. Gary Oldman.
As like old Snake, like Solid Snake?
As old Solid Snake, I can see Gary Oldman playing that.
You're talking about, okay, I don't know. I think for the old Solid Snake, I think Keanu Reeves would make a good Solid Snake.
I mean, he's done well as John Wick. That is a point.
Yeah,
I'm trying to envision Gary Oldman as of right now. I'm trying to take, you know, because I've seen him in so many iterations. Whether it was like recently, I
think he'd be a good Naked Snake. I don't think he'd be good as Solid Snake. I think maybe Naked Snake he'd be good at.
Yeah, I could see that. Big Boss, yeah.
Big Boss, yeah.
No, I could see that, absolutely. Any other franchises you'd like to see, or is it just that?
My mind is drawing a blank right now.
Okay, so we'll move on to our next topic with that. Well, actually, you know what? Clay, what do you want to see? Bloodborne, duh. Okay, cool. Who would you like to play the hunter? Well, let's see. That guy with mask on his face. All right, cool. So,
hey, hold on. I got a question first, Nick. I got one more. Because are we just talking about, are they just going to be doing live action movies or just movies? It doesn't matter.
I think they're going to be doing a variation, because like I said, right now they are doing Twisted Metal, but I'm sure they will use live action mixed with CGI for that. And of course, Uncharted, they'll definitely use just live action.
Because see, look, I wouldn't mind seeing a Crash movie.
Crash Band, yeah, not like Sonic,
Crash.
Not like Sonic the movie style, but like actual fun CG.
Yeah.
Make the character actually look like the character.
How about that
exactly.
How about the Sonic the Hedgehog movie, everybody? No, Clay, don't do that. Don't go there. No, don't do it.
Hey, look, hey, listen. Jim Carrey is playing Dr. Robotnik.
Yo, but Jim Carrey got back problems though, because he's carrying that whole movie. All right.
It's Jim Carrey.
What makes you think he's going to carry the movie? It's literally in his name.
Yeah, look at it.
If he can carry a Batman movie and make it good, he can do it.
You know, honestly, he really did carry Batman and Robin. He really did carry Batman Forever, yeah. I almost said Batman and Robin. Y'all didn't hear that. So anyway, So next topic. I think PlayStation Productions is going to do really well. I am very confident in Sean Layden and his team because they have done such a great job with Sony. We're not sponsored by Sony. We really should be. Guys, call us. So, next topic is the PlayStation 5. Now, I recently shared a thing. This is the revelation I was talking about earlier, guys, too. I recently shared a thing from the PlayStation, or this thing called VR 4 blog, or whatever it's called, VR 4 Player. That's it. And they do a blog on all things PlayStation VR. Here's the revelation. That was not an official. That was not an official video. That's very sad.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. I mean, all the specs that they mentioned, everything that they talked about in it, that was official. But, like, the design of the system and this, that, and the other, that was not official.
Now I feel empty and betrayed.
Isn't that a little bit disappointing? Because if you guys haven't seen it, I'm showing a couple of clips from it right now. But you should definitely go check that out. I'll have a link in the description below. Or just right across the screen. There you go. Thanks, Clay. Appreciate that. And, yeah, you should really go check that out. It's a really awesome video. I think that'd be really, really cool if they actually did that. But let's talk about a couple of the different aspects of the PlayStation 5, the things that we know about it so far. So we know for a fact that it's going to be fully backwards compatible. Let me say it again. Fully backwards compatible. One more time for the people in the back. Fully backwards compatible. And let me talk about how in depth we're going with that, okay? So in a recent press release, they did state that anyone who buys a PS5, of course, you know, early on in this generation, the PlayStation 4 will still be active. People will still have it. They won't immediately go pick up a PlayStation 5. You know, there are people like myself who will not get first wave new consoles. That's just the way it goes. You want bugs to kind of work themselves out. But when I talk about backwards compatibility being in depth, they're still going to allow PlayStation 5 players, because it'll still be able to run PlayStation 4 games, they'll be able to run on the same servers as people on the PlayStation 4. So though you're playing from a new console, but you're playing the same game, you're still going to be able to play with your friends who are on an older generation console. That's one level of it. Another level is, with their PlayStation, I like that a lot too, yeah. With their PlayStation Now system, they're porting a whole bunch of their older titles. Basically what they talked about in E3 so long ago, with having their entire PlayStation library from handhelds to consoles, and I think they even mentioned that they're going to start porting over their mobile games, which is going to be really cool. And there's a reason behind that. A couple of more speculations I will bring up, that they're going to be bringing their entire library. So not only that stuff, but the fact that you'll be able to play any disc-based game from PlayStation 1 all the way through PlayStation 5. So we're not talking about just handheld games. And now this was shown in the video, so everybody's like, oh, it's a fake video, so you can't. No. There's already a patent that's been revealed for that level of backwards compatibility, as far as being an emulator hardware in their system. That's going to be built in. That is awesome. Not only that, but I mentioned mobile games. There is a patent that's also been revealed for a touch screen controller. What that's going to look like, I have no idea. There's no official release on it right now, and of course we probably won't know that until 2020 and during E3 or during one of the Sony conferences. But there is a patent in the system for it. So what that could entail, if they're trying to go the way of Switch, or hopefully not back to Wii U, but they could port over technically their mobile franchises. So Final Fantasy Brave Exvius, Star Ocean Anamnesis, Valkyrie Profile. I'm just naming off Square Enix because I love Square Enix. But a lot of their different things that they have currently on mobile right now, they could port over as well. So that's a couple of their hardware caches. Not only that, but their full VR support, including ray tracing technology, which of course gives you a better read of the room, and it's not as choppy as current VR is. So there's that, and then of course there's their hardware specs. Now, actually, we want to talk about this for a sec. we were talking actually about before the show, trying to get information on, you know, the amount of teraflops and how that compares to other systems. Currently, in terms of console, the strongest system for teraflops is the Xbox One X at 6 teraflops. PlayStation 5 has 2 times that amount at 12 teraflops. Runs true native 4K resolution at 60 frames per second locked. Now, it might increase, but right now their system is saying locked, so we'll see how that goes from there. There's a whole bunch of other specs, like an onboard solid-state drive, and I did also another episode of Gaming News in a Minute recently that showed the rest of this information. But that's a lot of information that they're giving us on terms of the current standing of the PlayStation 5. So, Daryl, I'm going to turn it over to you for just a sec. Talk about this for a second, man. What are you feeling with this, man?
Well, first thing, I hate to sound like the negative person, but I don't really need that far backwards compatibility to PlayStation 1. I don't really need, because I'm not going to play a PlayStation 1 game. I'm not going to play a PlayStation 2 game. Maybe PS3, but as long as I get PS4 games, I'm good with that.
Okay, yeah, no doubt.
But I do need memory now, okay? I hope that, you know, the hard drive is a bigger hard drive. Like, I don't mind for them to go all out with this system. I mean, put much as you can into it, because trust me, the gamers will buy it if it's worth it. Mm-hmm. Like right now, my base PS4 was $400 first, right? And I added $200 to it to buy this mod so I can have a stronger hard drive. Mm-hmm. So I wouldn't mind paying $600 for a PS5. I wouldn't mind. I know that's a lot for a console, but personally, I wouldn't mind if they just go ahead and put the power into it.
Well, you're going to get your wish, my friend, because starting price is $500. But I mean, yeah, that's not bad, right? So you're saying you would pay $600? How about $100 less? That sound good?
I would pay. I'll pay $500. I'll pay $400.
Not only that, but it starts out at a terabyte hard drive. But it's not just any old hard drives. Which, you know, people who know PC hard drives, there's SATA and there's solid state drive. This is a solid state drive, which is also referred to as a laptop hard drive. So it's faster than USB in terms of reading from the system specs to the actual memory itself. So there's a lot of shorter. In fact, they even showed a recent what am I looking? What am I thinking of? A tech demo which showed Spider-Man and its loading screen. Now you've played Spider-Man, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you know how long it takes to load to when you fast travel, right?
Mm-hmm.
Couple minutes, few minutes. How about 10 seconds?
Whew, see, I've seen the video, but to me, I was like, okay, something sounds too good to be true. I mean, watching the specs on this system, everything just sounds too good to be true, and I wonder, like, what's true and what's not true.
As far as like what's true and what's not true, I can absolutely agree, because it's still too early to really get a lockdown until they fully release in a press statement telling us everything about it. For me, the scare is always cooling system. You know, how hot is it going to run? Yeah. How is it going to overclock? Am I going to have to buy a new one because of a meltdown? Am I going to set my house on fire? Can I actually cook eggs on it? Can I take this thing camping and then use it as a griddle? Does that work? Would it be too much to bring a generator too? I'm not sure.
Or after, let's say, after a year of playing on the game, it's going to sound like a jet engine. Because I know a lot of times how my system sounds like a jet engine when it's loading up. I don't want that.
Xbox One with intercooler. You remember that, Spotty Butt? In the apartment?
I remember that.
Oh my gosh, you could hear that thing across the house. And because I was so paranoid, when we finally got our PS3, I actually had a box fan sitting behind it. No joke.
Yep.
And that was always a lot of fun. So, on that same note, Spotty Butt, what are you looking forward to, and what are you speculating with this system?
Well, first of all, I do want to go that far back in the catalog, because there's some PlayStation 1 games that I want to play that did not release with the PlayStation 1 Classic, like Bushido Blade. I want to play that game so bad. But as far as what I want to be able to like have the memory card system back. I want to be able to save my progress, save my game on my console, take it over to my friend's house, plug in the game, plug in my save game, and then we can go from there. Like, especially with unlockable, with progression content like fighting games, that would be amazing for me.
technically they do have that currently with the USB system and external storage. PlayStation finally upgraded on all PlayStation 4 consoles to support external storage, like external hard drives or USB thumb drives. So technically, you could already save your save files on a more universal save system. In fact, that's how people are doing edited saves for games like that auto save, and you can't technically do stuff like that.
I will have to research that further.
Yeah, that's currently already a thing. It's just it's not as romantic as a memory card. In terms of me with the older catalog, yeah, we all know that Clay's a nostalgia gamer, so of course his butt's gonna be playing PlayStation 1 games on a brand new console. Yeah. Hey, what PS5 games you have? None. What do you play on a PlayStation 1? What? Well, reasons.
What's having it?
It's better.
But speaking of that, okay, so this is what I'm wondering though. If you play a PS1 game, is it gonna upscale it to some better graphics? Will it do that?
Well, in terms of that, there have been upscalers and smoothers that have been installed even since the PS2 days, but they didn't do a whole lot for the games. That always comes in like remasters and things like that. So of course there will be remasters. Of course there will be ports. I mentioned during gaming news in a minute for this particular segment that Star Ocean 1 is coming to the PlayStation 4 and Nintendo Switch in the form of Star Ocean First Departure R, which is the reason why I'm playing Star Ocean Integrity and Faithlessness right now. And it's getting a full remaster. So like Star Ocean 4 and Star Ocean 3, it's going to get a complete smoothing over and facelift, and who knows what else they might do to it. Right now, there's not much detail on that, which saddens me and at the same time excites the crap out of me.
Yeah, see, that's what I'm worried about. See, I don't want these game companies to get lazy and say, well, you can just play the PS1 game instead of me remastering the game, or that's what I'm looking for. I want something to be remastered, like Twisted Metal 2. That was my favorite game. I would love for that to be remastered for the PS4 or the PS5. But if I can just play Twisted Metal 2, I'm gonna play it. I'm gonna get it. But I would love to see it remastered with better graphics, and things like that.
Now you said you would rather see it remastered rather than remade, in terms of like upgrading its graphics and everything. What about the Resident Evil 2 remake that just came out recently? That wasn't a remaster. That was a full-blown remake.
Yeah, mine was a yes.
You see what I'm saying?
I haven't even played it yet, but I want to play it.
Oh my god!
I haven't even played it yet.
I haven't played it yet either, but I've sat through multiple people's playthroughs of it. All my good friends and YouTubers.
Yeah, I watched it, but it weirded me out because I don't know who this guy in the trench coat is chasing you.
That's Mr. X, bro.
I don't know who he is. I never met him. I never seen him before. Why is he in my game? That's what I wonder. Why is he in my game? Okay.
I mean, Resident Evil 2, he was Tyrant.
I didn't see him in Resident Evil 2.
Oh, he was there. Oh, he was there. Oh, he was there. He was there. Mr. X was there. Hey, Clay, he was there, right? Oh, thanks, Clay. Appreciate it.
You know what? Now you're going to have to get me to go play Resident Evil 2.
Go play.
The old one.
I mean, it was so long ago, man, so, I understand, but, there it is. There's the information right there. I'm sitting here telling, anyway. So... So that's all we know right now about the PlayStation 5. It's for right now. I swear to God, if Sony sees that vlog and they do anything like that, that will be awesome. That's a good looking spec. But of course, they're going to do their own thing, and I trust them fully. They did a great job with the PlayStation 4. It really brought Sony back out of the dark ages because PlayStation 3 was not a great run for the generation, especially compared to PlayStation 2 and PlayStation 1, which were revolutionary. But PlayStation 4 really brought them back out, and it has made them a bigger name in gaming. And so, of course, we're not sponsored by Sony. Swear to God, we're not. But that's all we got for this segment, guys. Again, it is great to be back. It really is. It is now that time in our segment where we talk about games coming up, and a segment that we call Coming Up. Daryl, what you got for this, man? What are you excited to see coming up very soon?
Game I'm looking for that it just seems like it's not coming out anytime soon. I mentioned before And I'm just going because the only game on my mind right now is Cyberpunk. I just really want that game now. I just want it now. I know y'all heard me mention it before, but I just want it. I just want it. Sony has gone quiet now since, with games. I know The Last of Us 2 is supposed to be coming out soon, but Sony has been quiet as far as the new games. So really, that's the only other game I'm looking forward to right now.
I mean, they've got to be, especially because they're not going to be at E3. They're not bringing anything to the table, and they're probably even keeping their third parties on a hush hush right now because of everything that they're having to deal with. We all have a feeling that the next real wave of gaming that they're going to release is going to be on PlayStation 5, and so they're trying to keep everything really close to the belt at the moment.
Yeah.
But I completely understand where you're coming from. Spotty Butt, what about you, man? What's your coming up pick for this week?
I mean, I was gonna say Cyberpunk, but the thunder was kind of stolen from me right there. But
Sorry about this.
so I'm just gonna go ahead and say Cyberpunk because I just love that kind of setting.
Okay.
Yes.
So I got 2 for Cyberpunk. Honestly, cool. I myself am looking forward to Cyberpunk. But to keep it from getting monotonous, I want to cover a wider range, and that's okay. I am looking forward to Neo 2. Recently, they did announce that there was a closed alpha, or actually there was currently a closed alpha going on for Neo 2. I'm curious to see how they're going to do it, if they're going to do it mission style like they did with Neo 1, what the character creation system is going to mean for the storyline, because the storyline for Neo 1 followed one specific character. And so we're kind of wondering how they're going to do it this time, because there is a multitude of avatars you could technically play, and what the new Neo form system, or the yokai form system, means for the story. There's a lot of questions I have right now, and if not myself, then of course other people that are interested in that series, like Vadi Vidya, might have it on some news here coming up, so we'll figure it out very soon. But I'm looking forward to that very much, because the last one was so good. It wasn't as great as Sekiro, Shadows Die Twice, which I talked about a lot, which was really good, just really hard. Yeah, so that's my coming up, and of course that's y'all's coming up, and that's our coming up, because this is Gaming Nation, presented to you by Fandoms Anonymous. Guys, thank you again so much for joining us once again after almost a half a year since our last segment. So we're really excited to be back, and of course we're excited to be back with you guys. Daryl, where can we find you, brother?
Well, of course you can find me here on Gaming Nation. We're gonna start doing more shows. I know it's been a while. Start doing some more. Okay, or you can find me on Fandom Anonymous. I'm always on there.
That's right. And of course, Spotty Belt, where can we find you, brother?
You can find me on my Instagram, which is Captain Wigglepuffin. You can follow the adventures of Captain Wigglepuffin, the adorable little thing made by an awesome artist called Foxina Wolf. You can find her on FA, but yeah.
Yeah. FA is a great site for awesome art. Go there with caution.
It's been so long, I done forgot.
You can find him also with us over on YouTube, Tales of the Blade. Speaking of which, you can find me, Clay, at Tales of the Blade, or youtube.com/Tales of the Blade, facebook.com/Tales of the Blade. We're on Instagram right now. We're trying to post as much of our cosplay tutorials and stuff that we got going on. We have moved away from Let's Plays for the most part, and are focused now on gaming reviews, doing more cosplay-related videos as well. Currently, we have one in the making for a convention we have coming up, InfinityCon here in Tallahassee, one-day event June 29th. Hello, text message, and that's the sound of me having to wrap it up. So there we go. That's where you can find all of us, ladies and gentlemen. But of course, we are Fandoms Anonymous. That's FANDOMSANONYMOUS. I've gotten really good at that. You can find us all over social media right now. Of course, you can find us on Facebook, YouTube, right here, Instagram, and Twitter as well. You can check out all of our social media spots, and of course, check us out the various conventions. Come over to the web or to the Facebook page for various conversations, and of course convention information and notifications, so you can catch us in person. You can find him and his crew all over the place. They're constantly rolling conventions and doing a lot of interview work there, of course, with different celebrities and different happenings going on, trying to keep it real in the nerd culture, ladies and gentlemen. That's what we want to connect to you guys with. And of course, come over, join us for conversations, and give us topics that you would like to see covered right here on Gaming Nation. And as always, as we like to say, if there is anything else, thanks for watching, and have a great one.